before we begin this workshop, we will begin to talk about where Miscellaneous is presenting this event today on the ancestral, traditional, and unceded, that means stolen territories of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh peoples. It is an honor to present theater, music, dance, visual art, costume design, and performance art on their lands and the lands of their ancestors. Their cultures have left a lasting legacy for us to learn from and cherish. We live and work on unceded, stolen Coast Salish territories, and we endeavor to honor the land and its treaties by strengthening our relationship and responsibilities to Coast Salish people and all Indigenous peoples across Turtle Islands. The presence of settlers and non-Indigenous people who live on stolen and unceded lands is not neutral. It has had and continues to have devastating impacts on many aspects of life, art, and culture for Indigenous people. Settler colonialism has suppressed and harmed Coast Salish people, whether they be land-based or of the sea and sky. We hold this understanding in our interactions and engagements with this land and its people. Those of us who are settlers need to recognize that our knowledge and way of doing things may not be the priority as we work towards equality for everyone in this region. Because we are gathering in this digital space, we would like to encourage and invite everyone to take a moment and reflect upon the land you are on and your relationship to it, how that looks as you acknowledge your ancestry. My name is Elaine Carroll. I'm the Artistic Director of Miscellaneous Productions, director and producer of this new art project. On behalf of our staff board, young performers, and wonderful artists, we would like to thank you very much for attending this particular project presentation. We would like to thank our wonderful funders, Canada Council for the Arts, BC Arts Council, BC Gaming, City of Vancouver Office of Arts and Culture, Vancouver Foundation, Click to Kids, and many generous individuals. We would also like to thank our main partner, our main community partner, the Dance Center. Thanks so much to the exceptionally talented people working behind the scenes, including our volunteer board of directors and fantastic professional team. At Miscellaneous Productions, we believe all youth have the right to the highest quality comprehensive professional training in the performing arts, regardless of cultural background, income level, or experience. And now I would like to introduce you to our outreach worker and moderator for tonight, Leah McGraw.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Leah McGraw. I am a community outreach coordinator at Miscellaneous Productions, and I will be moderating today's workshop. It is my pleasure to introduce each of our guest artists. So first, I will introduce Sharon Bailey. If Sharon could give a wave.
Hi there, I'm delighted to be here today, and I will be presenting physical theater and gesture through archetype. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, thank you, Sharon. So Sharon Bailey is a performing artist whose practice is rooted in physical theater, clown, and ensemble-based creation. She is also a Red Seal Journey carpenter who runs one of the wood shops at Emily Carr University of Art and Design. Our next artist that I would like to introduce is Megan Leeson, aka the Fabric Wizard. Can we have Megan, the Fabric Wizard, give a wave, please?
Hi there, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. So Megan started with Miscellaneous Productions as a design assistant on Stock Characters, the cooking show, back in 2007, and has since designed 5 shows for the company. Now she's our senior costume designer, and her distinct style layers recycled textures, retro elements, and modern comforts, all catered to the performer within the character. Next up, I would like to introduce Val Machin. If Val could give a wave, please.
Hi, guys. Welcome.
Thanks, Val. So Val began her career with a passion for fashion, using a camera and a flair for vintage clothing. Soon she was organizing photo shoots with her friends, which led her to furthering her education in theater costuming, and she has worked with Miscellaneous Productions on 5 shows for the company. And our final guest artist today is Tiffany Yang. Tiffany, if you could please give a wave to everyone.
Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here and I can't wait to show you some fun things you can do to decorate your awesome hats.
Thank you, Tiffany. So Tiffany is a Taiwanese Canadian eco artist and snow sculptor. She was a cast member in Miscellaneous Productions' Monsters, as well as a youth leader on the Canadian and European tours. More recently, she has worked as a storyboard artist on several Miscellaneous Production films. So after each of our artists presents, we will have a question and answer period. However, if you do have a question that's related to the assembly of your hat, please type it into the chat and our facilitators will answer it when they get the chance. And for more complex questions, please save them until the longer Q&A section afterwards, and we will do our best to have the artists answer every question. Now, before we get started, I believe Mana will be doing our group agreement and just going over some of the Zoom basics for our workshop today.
Thank you, Leah. Welcome, everybody. We ask that all participants in today respect our anti-harassment policy. That means, and is not limited to, visual language comments that are racist, homophobic, sexist, or threatening in nature. This includes actions that disrupt or interfere in any way with any other attendees or presenters' ability to participate. We do not tolerate harassment of any kind because, as you know, creativity comes from a place of feeling safe to come as you are. So we want everyone to feel like this is a place for them. Some of you may be familiar with Zoom, while others, this may be your first time. There are a few things to go over regarding Zoom etiquette. Please mute yourself. This will reduce any background noise during the workshop, like so. If you look to your bottom, you'll see a whole bunch of buttons, and in the corner, you couldn't hear me, so there's the mute. We ask people to turn on their videos as much as they are comfortable with, and that you have it on, if you can at least, for a brief while at the start, and occasionally check in if you are feeling comfortable. We realize that some people may not be able to have their video on all the time, and that they might be uncomfortable with that, and that's acceptable. Do whatever feels right and natural for you. You may prefer to use the reaction buttons on the chat function instead of speaking. Please note that we have the chat function set so that you can write messages to everyone or individually to our hosts and co-hosts. But you can't send messages to each other privately. So just to demonstrate, go faster, go slower, no, yes. Please do not leave the workshop without letting the facilitator know. Please let me or another facilitator know if anything is bothering or upsetting you. Again, you can private message throughout the chat. If you require a moment away from the group, but do not want to leave the workshop, you can go into a private breakout room where we can discuss whatever it is that is bothering you. This is very important. Please close other programs or applications on your phone or computer. Give yourself the gift of being present and engaged in the space, and so we can reciprocate that gift with you. We request that attendees refrain from harassment of any sort, as stated earlier. We don't tolerate any bullying. We encourage people to interact in a loving, kind, and gentle way. Most importantly, be open, be curious, be creative, and have fun. Thank you, Leah. Turn it back to you.
Awesome, thank you for that, Mana. So now Megan will start today's workshop with a brief glimpse into Miscellaneous Productions costume history, followed by instructions on how to build your hat. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Yes, so costume design is my job, and it plays a very important role in the characters' process for them to transform into their characters. Previous Miscellaneous Productions shows, we've had some really amazing headwear. I believe we have some photos of these. In Power 1 and 2, we used face masks and goggles to have a look of a steampunk aesthetic. Do we have that image? And also in Cats and Dogs, the cast wore ears and tails made with headbands made from fun fur and scarves. We just tied them around their heads as they were playing animals. They were rolling around. Sometimes we took the hat and cut holes in it for their ears to stick out. It was really fun. Not sure if we have an image of that ready to show. I don't think we do. That's okay. In Haunted House, we used some battery powered lighting and we fed it through the hats. We had some hat brims and it acted as a lighting source so that the audience could find certain people to get to the exits and etc. So it worked really wonderfully for that show as it played mostly in the dark. In preparation for a show, we always meet with each cast member individually and discuss the style or the look of the show we're going to be doing. Then we customize a collage of research images that we find that are unique to their characters. We use their favorite colors that they like or style elements that they found were great. We will show those photos after this demo. So we pick their style elements and then we usually like to incorporate some elements from their cultural backgrounds that they want to showcase. Sometimes their stories can be quite personal that way and they want to showcase that. So then we take those research images and collages, myself and my teammate Val, we go hunting into vintage stores, thrift stores, closets. Sometimes they have something that they want to bring to the stage. We go around, we grab all this stuff because sometimes the trendy fashion that you find in the malls can be very limiting for theater. If you partake in Halloween or you partake in cosplay of any kind or just love dressing up, you know that sometimes those costume pieces that you put together yourself always look better than just something you find in a bag, right? You get sometimes you get that awesome compliment like, wow, you made that yourself. That feels great. So we get to do a little bit of that today. We chose the basic top hat, if you can see behind me. As you can kind of change up the decorations that are around it. You can change it up for different events. If everybody can hear me, I'm going to explain that there are some differences in the instructions we're going to be doing today. So, for example, some of you may have received a worksheet like this that says basic one size top hat. And you may have received some kit pieces like this and a bunch of other fun stuff in a bag. That's great. So we're going to refer to you folks with those kits as thumbs up. So when I make this gesture, that's going to be the directions that you're going to follow. So if anybody that has that style kit with these style pieces can go to the reactions on the bottom and just select a thumbs up. And then we have an idea of how many participants are using that style kit. Or make the gesture. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Perfect. Awesome. So that's for team thumbs up. I'll give you a quick look at. This is kind of what the hat will look like. In the end of your booklet, you have a reference image with the studs and decoration with the pipe cleaner. And this is the adhesive foam. And I just added some tissue paper. Great. So that's for team thumbs up. Our next team received a package called Instructions for a Top Hat that looks like this. You had to get a pattern, cut it out, and you found some paper or you've chosen to use some cardboard. They're slightly different instructions. So I'm going to be referring to your instructions as team applause. So team applause, that's you guys. Is there anybody participating with that style kit here? Great. Awesome. Awesome. So I will quickly show you what that hat looks like. This is it. It gives you lots of opportunity to decorate. You can add some fabric or newspaper or something underneath. And that's basically what it'll look like. Great. So now, if you do feel inspired after the workshop and you'd like to receive access to one of these patterns to keep making hats for yourselves, we can make that available to you. Just remind us after. Awesome. So so I will do my best to speak slow and clear. So if I'm going too fast at any point, just request that slow down button. You may have missed that in the intro, but if you look into your reactions, you can request a slow down or faster, but probably won't select that, but slow down, that would be great. Or type a chat in. Let us know if you have any questions. Myself or Valeria can help you. And now we're gonna start. So if you are all at the stage of having your pieces cut out and ready to assemble, start laying them flat in front of you. I'm going to just adjust my camera and do the same thing. So that's my surface here. If you find your pieces are really curly still from being rolled up, just kind of roll it in the other direction and it'll kind of flatten itself out. Great, and if at any time you feel a little lost, you can look through your little booklet you received. Great, so thumbs up, we will be starting with you. Place your pieces right side up, velvety side up. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces total. We're gonna start with these 2 pieces here. They kind of look interesting shapes. They got these spikies on them. We're going to call these triangle tabs. We're going to take those triangle tabs. They have a velvet side and a not velvet side. This is the side you want to face out on your hat. So you're going to fold all those little tabs towards the velvet. Yeah. So keep going on that side. I'm going to show you the same thing on this side, and then you'll have time to do all your folding as well. So pressing all along. I'm going to show you how to connect them, and then you'll have some time to keep folding and connecting. So this is, you have a few of these in your bag. It's called a brass fastener. It kind of opens like that, and it'll help make your connection point on your brim. So if you take your 2 pieces, lay on top. You see how those holes are all lined up? I wonder if you can see that. Some of you farther away. You take your brass fastener and you take those pointy ends and you pop it through. Then I'm going to show you. You spread it open and give it a good press. And now you've made your join. Okay, it's a little malleable. I suggest at that point is where you would tape it. Tape the back of the pokey bits, just so they don't catch in your hair. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, with the same side over top, lining up those holes. There it is. Yeah, perfect. And popping it through. Great. And add some tape. Don't want to catch. Great. So you guys are at that pace there. Keep folding. If you're still a bit curly from when it was rolled up, just throw some pieces of tape across and it should help level it out. So team thumbs up, keep working on that, team thumbs up. And I'm going to work with team applause. for the next couple minutes. So team applause. You have, I'm going to work with these two pieces first. You have a top piece that you cut out and a tube. I'm going to make my hat blue to go with my blue suit. So this is my outside. I'm going to take all these tabs that are along the bottom that I cut up and fold them up. Folding them up all the way along. I'm going to do the same thing for my top. Folding, 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 as I want the blue side out. Folding, folding, folding. Great. You guys keep folding that. Thank you, team applause. Keep folding your tabs and pressing them, and I will work with team thumbs up now. So team thumbs up. We've got our brim attached. We are going to work with this long piece here. We call that the crown or the tube for our pieces. So we're going to kind of follow that natural curl, the way it kind of was when it was rolled up. We're going to do the same technique that we did with our side pieces with those brass fasteners. So you take your brass fastener again. I'm going to start at the ends, line the hole up. It kind of ends up being a huge bangle, which could be quite handy if you want to do some gauntlets or something for a character. So then you line that up. I like to do the top and the bottom first. Then it's less of a fuss. Oh, see, I didn't quite get both through. Just pull it out and do it again. Great. So I've got 4 more to go. Great. So you'll notice same thing. These side pieces right here, it's a bit pokey. Pop some of your tape there just to secure it, just so it doesn't scratch you or get caught on your hair. Kind of taped it down. The other ones in the middle, you can leave them. If you find you're missing one of these in your kit, you can add a brooch or a pin if you have one, or take an opportunity to put a flower in later with a rosette or something and some of your pipe cleaner. Great, so team thumbs up, thank you. Keep working on that. Gives you some time to catch up if you need it. And then I will work with team applause now. Team applause. We are gonna form your tube. We're going to start by rolling it and find about, it needs to have about a 1-inch overlap just based on the pattern. And it's not permanent, you can adjust it. But throw some tape there just to secure it at that point. I'm also going to do it at the top. I'm going to do it at the top a little bit smaller because we're going to pass our brim piece over the top. Another one. Leave this open for now. You can go in and secure it after. Okay. This is our brim piece. You notice it's got 2 sides, a little bit wider on the side and shorter in the front and back. So pick which one you want in the front and back and decide whether you want this to be in the front or the back. Maybe you want to put something really cool here, like some ribbon or something, or you have a plan with a bunch of stickers and you want that in the front. I like to put it in the back. Find your front, lay this right over top and push down. It might need a little bit of pressure. Great. At that point, all these little tabs, we want to tape each one down. So it's going to take a couple minutes, but we have time. So keep taping all along. Maybe some big pieces of tape. Keep keep taping, and adjusting. So team applause, keep working on that. And I will be with you momentarily. I'm going to work with team thumbs up now. Team thumbs up. We are at the stage of attaching your hat tube piece to your top. This I've decided to be my front. You can make that the back, the side, whatever at this point. But for this hat, I want it to be in the front. And this is the top. It follows the shape of a head, right? So this would be your front and this would be your back. Very oval shape. Great. Awesome. So it's going to essentially go in like that, but it's easier to kind of fold it up like a taco. I'm kind of grabbing it. I'm going to push it through the tube. Get those tabs folded if you hadn't done it yet, but yeah, make sure those tabs are folded. It'll be easier. Or push it down into the tube. Put your taco in the tube. And you'll notice some of these little tabs will want to pop out. It's going to be a lot of taping and a lot of fussing. You might have to pull it out and put it back down again. Maybe try putting some tape on it first. That might help it stay. This is the finicky part. If this is driving you nuts and it's not something you want, maybe you have another plan and you want to put some kind of prop in there, like some flowers or a rabbit, you know, if you're doing a magician character, that gives you space. So tape along those tabs. I kind of do the quarters like a clock, do it in the quarters. And then, you know, you kind of have it secured and then continue along. You have a lot of tabs there to tape down. So keep taping. You'll notice there's some gaps in there. That's a great opportunity for you to add some of your decoration pieces with piped cleaner or feathers, or maybe you found some other fun things to add. So that's great. Thumbs up. Keep taping those tabs if you still need. And I'll be back with you soon. So team applause. We will work on your next steps. All right, we've got our hats. Yours are all taped down nice by this point, hopefully. Mine are a little, ignore that for now. We're going to be adding your top piece to your crown and tube. And this follows the same shape as your head. So you got a little bit wider at the sides. It's an oval. So I'm going to make this my front and this my back kind of thing. When you're going to place it inside, I've decided already that that's my back piece. I'm going to fold it up like a taco and place it in there. Can we? Tricky for the first bit here. Oh, you know what? We will need potentially to adjust our top. It's kind of sitting in there. Well, I got to pass it in again. Let's just pop it there for now. You may find you have to adjust the top potentially. If you're finding it might not fit, we made it smaller when the brim came over, right? So you can loosen that up and just make it a little bigger. Add more tape there. Great. Back to taco. Try again. Grab my tape. I'm going to do the quarters again. So do like 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3. There we go. Oh, wrestle with it. Keep wrestling. Tape's your best friend. And again, if you want to leave the top off, you can. Add a prop piece into there. It's a great opportunity to do that. Great.
you'll notice that you'll also have some gaps. Great opportunity to add some tape or some decorations with your pipe cleaners or sticks or whatever you find. This basically your hat there. Take a tape loop if you want to have a more invisible look, you know, this old trick where you kind of roll your tape. That. Pop a tape loop in there, maybe a couple, just to secure it so it doesn't have that opening. One more tape loop should do it. And you're kind of at the basics for decorating. So that hat is pretty much assembled, aside from a couple of tweaks. So thank you, team applause. And now team thumbs up. I will get to your next step here. So let me see here. Great. Everybody's working away. This is great. Awesome. So I got a little lint on my hat. You'll notice that things will stick to it, which could be fun for decorating. So at this point, got my brim assembled, got my tube assembled. If my hat piece, top piece isn't quite on, that's fine. You can always add that later. You're basically going to lower, oh, there we go. Pop that right on top. So I'm going to make this my front. This is my front. This is my back. These pieces, there. These pieces are the sides. They're a little wider. When you're done assembling and it's all together, you can trim off those edges if they're bothering you. Trim those away. Great. So we're going to add that on top, and then we're going to flip it over. All these little spikies need to be taped to the inside. That way you get a nice smooth brim. I'm going to start here at the top. Check my line here. Yeah, it looks like the studs are kind of matched up. I'm going to do the back. And the tape might pop up. So there's a good trick here. If your tape is popping off your board, give it one way, and we call it teeing it off, and you just use another strip of tape and pop it in the opposite direction. So you laid, say, some tape one way, lay the other tape the other way, and that should anchor it nicely in place. So keep taping all those along, because you're going to end up with some pokey bits that might catch on your hair. Okay, quickly get those down. You'll notice it's starting to really fit in there. The more you tape it along, it actually fits into the space. You might also think, whoa, that's a massive hat. We'll get into some of the adjustments you can do for your fittings after we've completely assembled. Okay, so oh, I see we still have some pieces that needed to be cut out. I'm sorry, guys. hopefully you were able to get some of the instructions from the demo. We can always help you as well to catch up. This is basically what it looks like. Once you get those triangular pieces cut out, that's your brim base. Oh, hey guys, I'm noticing that it might be that some have the fuzzy side on the inside. So the paper side is actually what's supposed to be on the inside. That will help you tape your pieces if you want. I mean, if you want to play it that way, you can. That's your choice artistically. Yeah, I think it looks cool. Looks like we have some tubes formed. People have some brims that maybe put together. I know some people had to cut out some brims. I can demo the attachment of the hat to the brim again. Looking really good, everyone. Hey Val, I wonder if it might be a good opportunity to go into a breakout room with some of our participants just to help them catch up. Is that possible to set up with somebody like that, or shall I continue? We're almost at the end of this point, but I don't want you guys to miss the last step. But if you feel like you can get the brim attached to the tube, I wouldn't worry about the top piece, because then you can add that later. Nicely done. Tape will be your best friend for this. Great. Awesome. Looks like we've got some brims attached. Oh, wow. Great. So you'll so I wouldn't worry too much about your top piece. Let me see if I can pull mine out here very easily. There's a piece like this, if you can see. You can add that at the end of the workshop. Don't worry about this one at this point. Yeah. It's tricky. Nice. We've got a hat. Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. So, if you have your pieces mostly assembled at this point, and you've left your hat top piece off, that's great. We can still continue with the rest of the workshop without the top piece on. The brim, the tube essentially is on, got it all taped. In your kit, you received a hat. This is where this comes in. This was one size made. That doesn't mean it's going to fit everybody. So this hat allows you to try on your tube. If you want to just try rocking your tube with your hat, you can do that and decorate that. If this brim is bothering and it's not quite fitting yet, you can work with the hat that you received. I got mine like this. It's a ball cap. Yeah. Pop that on. See, I've got it like that. So I'm going to take that, and I've got my brim piece or my tube piece. And then you can kind of put it right on top. Hopefully you can put your tube piece right on top of your hat without the brim. It should stay. Yeah. Forwards, backwards, however you want to rock it. That'll help you fit your hat to your head a little better, as they were one size. You want to put your tube on, guys? If you don't have your brimmy pieces on, that's fine. You can just put the tube part on. Let's see if I can, if I have a. Got another one of these here. That tube piece again, this piece. Yeah, there we go. The ball cap helps for fitting. This tube, I'm gonna pop one more in. You can use that on top of your ball cap. If you don't quite have the brim added, then you got a really interesting looking shape. That's it backwards. Whoa. Do you want to do that? Want to try that, guys? You can put it forward, put your brim forward. This is from Supergirl. There, kind of looks like that. Yeah. Is it still too big there? If it's still too big, you can add some of your fun foam in. Look, you've got yours all pinned to the side. Very cool. I'm liking how these hats are coming. This kind of helps you if you're finding it's wobbly in some spots. You can add some foam later. It's looking really good, guys. If you have another hat, you could put two hats on. Great. So I'm going to demonstrate what this can do to the back of the tube. If you want to add some adjustments. Very cool. I'm going to take some of this and stick it in the back of my hat. That will make the space a little bit smaller. So if you're finding your tube's too big for your ball cap, my groovy tube here, do the same thing with this. Just add some of this stuff in there and then try putting it on top of the hat. There, it fits a lot better. Cool. So if you're at a place now, if you feel good that you're ready to decorate, we can move on to that next. Oh, I have a question here. If the tube part is really, really tall, can we make the tube part shorter? We can. You could cut it down if you're feeling it's too tall. Yeah. Great. So I feel like I've completed the workshop demo. I can work privately, and then we can move on for a demonstration with decorating with Tiffany. Sounds good. Thank you, team applause. Thank you, team thumbs up. And I can help with any questions that you have, myself or Valeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Megan. I'm seeing some really amazing looking hats out there, everybody. So Megan, I will just ask if you would be able to introduce your costume images again. We missed them the first time around. I would love for everybody to be able to see those. Thanks, Megan.
So in previous miscellaneous shows, we used some pretty great headwear, amazing headwear. In Power 1 and 2, we used face masks and goggles. Yeah, to have a steampunk look. In Cuts and Dogs, the cast wore ears and tails, made from headbands and scarves, as they were playing animals. So we took hats sometimes and toques and cut holes in them for their ears to come out. And they were rolling around, so they just tied them around the back. In Haunted House, we added battery-powered lighting to hats. It's called L-wire, and they just wore the battery pack on their hip, and then they could control the lighting, and people could follow them around. Great, those are some of the images of hats we've done in our previous shows. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. So now I would just like to give a chance for anybody to ask any questions that they might have. You can feel free to just type into the chat. I think we did have some questions as we were going, but I just wanted to give everyone the chance in case they have any questions for Megan about how to assemble their hat or anything like that. If you have no questions and you would like to charge on ahead, that's totally fine too. All right, so it seems like everyone is okay to go. So just know that you can type in questions at any point, just write in the chat there, and we will now take a 2-minute break, please. So get up, stretch, you can look out the window, you can do a little dance, anything you'd like to just get your body moving, and feel free to get away from the screen for 2 minutes. Okay, welcome back from our short break, everybody. So next up, we're going to have Tiffany, who will be showing us how to repurpose with recycling and natural material decorations. So take it away, Tiffany.
Hi, everybody. Wonderful teams, wonderful work. So team applause and team thumbs up. You guys were just amazing and super awesome at what you're doing. So the decoration part and decorating part, I have a question for everybody, and you can just kind of raise your hand up or do a little cheer. Who likes to decorate? Woo, I do. And I know who likes to decorate cupcakes and eat cupcakes. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Well, today we don't have cupcakes because it's a little bit hard to mail around, but we have these awesome top hats that we can decorate. And I like to imagine it like it's a cupcake. It's a plain cupcake, and I'm adding awesome decorations and cool things I can find around the home. And so while you're kind of still working on your hats, you can kind of hear me, and I'm gonna be showing you some images on the screen that can give you some inspiration from the kit we sent you. I know we sent some pipe cleaners and we sent some foam boards, and there's other cool things you might have at home like stickers or even different parts of things you collected that you can put on the hat. So I'm going to show you first how to repurpose hard to recycle materials. And some of those things you can see in the image, which we will show on the screen. And let me know if these are recognizable to you. Have you seen some of these things at home? I see some nods, I'm nodding. So I see some bottle caps, I see rubber bands, there's, chocolate wrappers, or even just soft plastic wrappers. So these are all hard to recycle materials that usually we will have to throw in the garbage. But for this awesome day, we're gonna be repurposing them into amazing and just beautiful decorations. So next image, we will be showing you kind of how do you utilize the candy wrapper. So we'll cue the next image. So you can see what I did here was I flattened the candy wrappers, I wiped it clean so there's no stickiness on it, and then I kind of folded it like a fan, which I will be demoing in a bit. But the next thing that we will also kind of look at is how do you recycle and reuse paper and make that into a flower, and which I will also show you. And I understand that you may not have all the materials with you right now, and that's okay, because after seeing some of the demo and having some more inspirations, you can always do this on your own time, and you can make as many as you want and decorate your hat whenever you like. So I'm gonna cue back to my face and I'll cue right down to my hands. Okay. So, ta-da, I have some flattened candy wrappers here. And I'm gonna show you how to do a simple fold so we can make a fan. Nice and flat. I'm gonna do a little fold like that. And then I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna fold back. So it's kind of like you're folding front and back. Front, flip it around, you fold back again. And you keep folding and folding and folding so you can make it like a fan. If you like origami, you can also fold into fancy birds and flowers and things. But today, I want to show you how to make a little fan that can turn into a bowl. Like that, just open that up. I know that you want to make sure that this part is, taped or glued, but I discovered that you have these amazing pipe cleaners. So if you have pipe cleaners, you can cut them into smaller portions And you can also just like twist it around like you're tying it. So that works. So what I have here is a little kind of, I mean, it looks like a little dragonfly, doesn't it? Which we will also do a little dragonfly in a bit. That's really cool. So another way you can change this into something else is folding it in half. And it becomes like a fan. And then you just have to open it up like that. And if you make a few of these, what you'll get when you attach it together is like a pinwheel. It's like magic. Pinwheel, and you can add, you know, interchangeable colors. You can do red, green, blue, all your favorite colors. And how do you put them together? Simple. Remember Megan said tape sometimes is the best friend when we're doing crafts? And yes, it is. Just take a piece of tape. You can also make it smaller because our wrapper is small. And you see that there's this edge in the back of the wrapper. You just put half the tape there, and then you find the other opening and you just tape that together. Give it a nice squeeze, turn it around, it's all attached. Cool. So that's how you can utilize candy wrappers. And next, remember the flowers you wanted to do. Now I'll show you a little magic trick. No, it's already done, just like that. So how do we make this? If you have papers lying around or magazines or newspaper in the recycling bin, you can take that out, draw a circle, and you cut out the circle. You can use a marker, pencil. You draw like, you know, like spiraling snake, like that. So that's the head of the snake, and this is the tail of the snake. And as you can see, you cut along the lines from the outside to the inside, and then you end up with something like that. I mean, this can be a decoration alone, but we want to upgrade it into a flower. So let's see how everyone's doing. I see everyone's making some decorations on the side. That's awesome. See some bows, amazing. And you're attaching some things on the hat, fantastic. So I drew arrows here to show you that you'd be rolling it towards the inside center, nice and tight, nice and tight. It's a little bit hard in the beginning, that's okay. When you get it going, you just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. You can put some music on while you roll. Oh, wow. Lots of people are making flowers. We're gonna have, we should have a little guessing game. How many flowers will we have all together at the end? All right, so I'm gonna keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And as everyone is rolling, you're going to end up with something that doesn't even look like a flower, and that's okay. Because at the end, we're gonna do just a little bit of magic as well. Just a small magic to make it so that it becomes more like a flower. Keep rolling and rolling and hold it nice and tight. Use both hands. So kind of looking like this now. Making sure you keep rolling and rolling. Good. And if you finish rolling it, you end up with this little round head at the end. So you need to kind of fold it around the flower on the outside like that. So that's your flower, the bottom of your flower, the top of your flower. The bottom of your flower, you fold this like that. You give it a nice pinch. And hold on to it. And what I'll do now is I open up the bottom again, and I have some glue on the side that I'm going to dot the glue right on the round part, so the center part. because we're going to be sticking the rolled up flower petals onto this. So just kind of glue this, put some glue there. And you just do the same thing, bring it up and you pinch it. And then the top of the flower, that's the middle of the flower. You just kind of try to push that down so that can touch the glue. And at this point, I'm going to use some tape, best friend, to just on the side here where that the head was, just going to put some tape here so that can just attach a little bit of tape so that, I don't know if that's clear enough for everyone to see, but there are so many ways that you can stabilize the paper flower and you can be very creative. So it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. So it kind of looks like a flower now. And I did miss a tiny step. I remember I was telling you a little magic. So before you tape and put glue on, you loosen the flower a little bit. When you loosen the flower that you rolled up a little bit, it becomes like this. And then you can tape it or not, or attach it, or sometimes I like it just like that. It becomes a little decoration of some sort as well. So I'm going to move on to our next material that we'll be exploring. And I know you're still trying to decorate and work on your hats. It's okay, take your time. And if you have any questions, you can just put it in the chat. So I'm going to show you back to the images again on some organic materials that you can find them in nature. So when you go on your next nature walk or just out in the yard or backyard, you will find some maybe eggshells, I don't know, or that's for your breakfast. You'll have some pine cones and twigs, moss, and then you can collect them. And the next image, I'll show you something you can do when you combine organic materials and also materials that you find in your recycling bin. So in the next image, we will show you something that I already talked about, dragonfly. So who has seen a dragonfly? Yeah? You guys like dragonflies? They're really excellent flyers. Yeah, me too, I love them. They're excellent flyers and they are like a helicopter. They can go straight up or down, side to side and hover in place. So what you see here is basically a piece of wood or twig. And I cut out some wings from a magazine. And then I have the eyes, so I can show you. So we have a twig. We have a twig. And we have some wings that I cut out from magazines. There are 4 pieces. And then from the velvet pieces you cut from the hat, I just made an easy dragonfly head. And you see it's only eyes because their eyes are really big because guess what? They have excellent eyesight. So that's why I made 2 big eyes. So what I do is I kind of just, line them up. I want the wings here. Maybe the eyes are on the top here. And I use some tape. So you might want to hide the tape. So you just flip it around. You just put the tape on the bottom. Like that. Sure it's nice and stuck on. Turn it around. And I'm also gonna find more tape so I can put the head of the dragonfly on. Also flip it around, attach some tape. Cool. So we can make this dragonfly look more alive. So you might have some hole punchers with you, or if you have some awesome scissors skills, you can also cut little circles, just white circles. So they're kind of like the sparkle of the eye of sometimes you see something cute or an animal, they have a little sparkle, a little reflection. So I also just use a bit of glue because we're gluing it on the velvet side. A little bit of glue. Feel like it's ready to take flight. Zoom, zoom. You can play with it as you're making the decorations. You want to add extra stuff to the wings just to look like it's transparent with all the details like an insect. You can also do that. Use a marker for that. But you can draw your own designs on it if you like. Here's your dragonfly. Tell you another fun fact. Did you know that dragonflies can fly across oceans? Bet you don't know that. They can fly across oceans and migrate all around the world. And I'm going to show you last two images of some other things you can do with the materials that I have. So we're back to the PowerPoint presentation of amazing, cool stuff you can do, like say an owl. An owl made from pine cones, or you can use an eggshell, put some pipe cleaners on the top. And fun things to do with eggshells, you know, you just collect them and you dry them, you wash them, and you can start drawing on the eggshells or even sticking things on the eggshells. And they're very light, so you can use them as decorations. And last but not least, this is my hat image that shows what I did with my hat. And you don't have to do the same things. You can customize into any themes or styles that you imagine and just have a lot of fun with it. And I will show you what my hat looks like on my head right now. Oh, we have some questions which I will answer in a quick second. So before decoration, after decoration. So remember the cupcake? So I just pretended this was my cupcake and I got really excited and I started putting on some different types of decorations I made. And I just used tape to put it on. I didn't use any hot glue gun. So it's quite easy to put them on. If you're not going to be playing sports or running around, things won't come off. So put lots of rosettes. I used some of the leftover pieces from your velvet cuttings and made more rosettes. So going to the woodland area. Can you spot the dragonfly? Taking a rest on my hat. And the eggshells, just use tape to attach it. You can see I just used 2 pieces of tape. Easy peasy. I attached it around the hat. Another thing you can do with tape, which I'll show you that can make attaching things easier, is just making it so it becomes a double tape. So you just take the tape and then you just roll it around your finger like that. And then you can make like a double tape. So now both sides you can put things. I'll show you. So I just put the double tape, like say over here, like that. And I want to put maybe something like this. You can spread it open. There you go. Easy. All right. So that's how you can make awesome decorations. You can customize and take things off and put things on. You can wear it all year round, anywhere you like, and different colors. So thank you to everybody who is making their decorations. If you want to show some of your decorations you just made, you can put it up to your screen and I can take a look and we can get to see what you made in that short period of time. And if there's any questions, you can type it in the chat. So thank you, everybody. Take my hat off. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I'm seeing some really lovely decorations and hats going on. That's awesome. So we'll now take a minute to take any questions that you might have for any of the process so far. So just type your questions into the chat if you have any. But it looks, oh wow, I'm seeing some nice decorations coming closer to the camera there. Very beautiful. So great. So I'm not seeing any questions coming up, which is totally fine. Just feel free to drop them into the chat whenever you need. And if we don't have questions, then we will take another short 2-minute break. So feel free to step away from the screen. You can shake out your body, take a stretch, just whatever you need to do for 2 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. So I'm seeing a question in the chat. It says, how do you keep the eggshells from breaking when you are decorating and drawing on them or anything else? And then Tiffany is saying that eggshells are very strong. So if you're more gentle with drawing on it or sticking decorations on, then it should be okay. Eggs are actually quite a strong structure. Thank you, Tiffany. Okay, so we'll now be entering our last segment of today's workshop. So Sharon is going to wrap up today's program with some movement and exploring some common archetypes. So please take it away, Sharon.
Thanks, Leah. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. So I didn't have a hat to work on, so I just grabbed one of my hats from my tickle trunk and put that on. I did manage to do a flower though, which was fun, and a bow tie. So, okay, as Leah mentioned, I'm going to be, we are going to be exploring character archetypes through gesture and movement. So everyone's been working really, you guys have been so focused on making your hats, which is great. And now we're gonna get up on our feet and actually play with our bodies and play with character a bit. So if you can, if you've got space to get up, stand up so you can move around, we're gonna start with a bit of a physical warm up. As theater artists, that's how we start our work, is we warm up the body, right? Good, I can see some of you already getting into it. Okay, let's start with some shoulder rolls, okay? Can everyone hear me all right? Okay, great. We're going to start with some shoulder rolls. Rolling our shoulders forward, up and back, forward, up and back, forward, up and back. Oh, I'm seeing a thumbs down. Does that mean you can't hear me? No, no. it was an upside down thumbs up. Okay, so we're rolling our shoulders forward, forward and down, forward and down, forward and down. Okay, and now we're gonna warm up our neck. We're gonna drop our head. I'm gonna roll to the side and roll to the other side. And we're gonna nod our heads, yes. And we're gonna shake our heads, no. And then roll to the other side. Nod, yes, yes. Shake, no. And then just a couple more rolls side to side. And then drop to the center and bring your head up. Terrific. Okay, now we're going to warm up the torso. Okay, so we're going to try and isolate our rib cage from our hips. So we're going to keep our base of our body solid if we can, and we're going to move our torso to the side, to the front, to the side, to the back. Side, front, side, back. Side, front, side, back. Now the other way. Side, front, side, back. Side, front, side, back. Circle, circle. Good. That's good. Isolating the torso. And then we'll warm up our arms. So swinging our arms forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. You can go all the way around if you want. All the way around, all the way around, all the way around. You can go slow or fast, and then you can go side to side. Whew. And you might give yourself a gentle little pat. Just pat, 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 pat your body. Pat, pat, not slapping your neighbor, but patting your body. Great, I call this the washing machine. Side to side. Okay, and now I'll change my camera. We're gonna isolate our hips, right? So we did the torso, now we're gonna do the hips. So we keep our upper body solid if we can, and we move our hips to the side, front, side, back. Side, front, side, back. Side, front, side, back. And then the other way, around, and around, and around. Good, good. Now you can just shake that out. Great, great. And now let's lift our knees up. Give your knees a little tap. Tap your knees, tap your knees, tap your knees, tap your knees. There you go. Tap, tap. And then if you want to extend your legs and touch your toes, it'll look like this. Toes, 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 toes. Yeah, good, good, good. That's great. So let's just shake that out, shake that out. Do a little jog up on our toes, tippy toe jog. Jog, 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 jog. We'll go this direction, and we'll go this direction, and we'll go to this side, and then back to the front. Yes. Whoo. Great. And then let's just shake it all out. Shake, 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 shake. Oh, good, good, good. Great. And now we're going to take all that energy that we gathered with all of our physical bodies. We're going to take that energy and we're going to gather it up, and we're going to pass it on to each other in the Zoom. So we'll gather up all the energy, gather, 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 gather into a little ball. And when we send it out, we'll send it with some kind of a sound. It could be yay or whoosh or wee. 1, 2, 3, go! Yeah. Woo! Very good. Very good. Okay. So now, as I mentioned, we're going to play with archetypes. So the first question is, What's an archetype? Well, in storytelling, whether it be in fairy tales or folklore or myths or legends or even modern movies, an archetype is a character that represents a specific set of kind of universal, recognizable traits or behaviors or characteristics. So for example, in fairy tales, the witch is an archetype. Now, we all know that the witch is imbued with magic powers, right? The witch has tremendous supernatural power, and the witch makes magic potions and casts spells on things and puts curses on things and people. So this archetype has great power, and they don't always use it for good. It can be used for good or evil. So it depends on the witch. For instance, if you think of the Wizard of Oz, there's the Wicked Witch of the West. And then there's Glinda, the Good Witch, right? So witches can go either way, but they always have supernatural power. So stories and fairy tales and folklore are filled with recognizable archetypes that we can relate to in all kinds of ways. And each of them has a unique set of strengths and weaknesses and a desire which drives them. So for instance, the witch's desire is to control the forces of nature. So we're going to play with this with gesture. Now, what do I mean by gesture? Well, gesture, I'm doing gesture right now. I'm making a lot of movements. Gesture in theatrical terms is basically a movement that communicates meaning, right? So I'm going to do 3 examples of gestures, and I want you guys to get ready on your keyboards and type in what you think this gesture is conveying. Like, what do you think this gesture is trying to say? And or what do you think this gesture says about this character? All right, you ready? So here's my first gesture. Okay, what do you think that gesture is trying to say? And what do you think that gesture says about the character? Do, 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 do. Yeah, that's right. What does that say? Frustrated, mad. Oh, he's an angry dude. Yeah, he's an angry dude. That's great. Good. Okay, here's my next gesture. You ready? Get ready on your keyboards. All right, what is that gesture trying to say? Wait, oh, sending smoochy kisses and love. That's right. That's right. Sending love across the airwaves into all the Zoom boxes. Yeah, so it probably means that the character is kind of a romantic character maybe, hey? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more. And I'm just gonna do this one. Notice how I'll do it 2 different ways. Neutral, so it will be this. And then I'm going to do it with a character face. Now notice the difference.
Sorry, some technical difficulties, everyone. I think we got frozen. I think somebody, a witch, maybe cast a spell on our Zoom for a second there. I'm not sure. A little spooky. But just before we get back going, does anybody have any questions, or would anybody like to share what they've made with the group? So if you have your hat or some decorations near you, and if you would like to go grab it and bring it up to the camera so that we could see, we would love to see what you've been working on. Oh, I see Elaine has her hat on. Got some things bobbling on the top there. Oh, lovely. Very nice top hat there. Oh yeah, I got some little spiders on the side there, some feathers, nice stripe.
Hi, Leah.
We have Sharon back. Awesome. All of those hats look so great. Thank you so much for sharing, everybody. So I think we can get Sharon back on our spotlight here and we can continue on.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, something happened with the internet, but hopefully that won't happen again. I just caught the tail end of your hats, though. They look terrific. Okay, so let's just jump into playing with archetypes. I already went through gesture and archetypes. So let's explore the archetype of witch, right? We already mentioned the archetype of witch earlier. Remember that the witch has tremendous power, okay? They cast spells and put curses on things. So there are many kinds of witches. There are witches who live underwater, like the Little Mermaid. There are witches that fly on broomsticks, like in The Wizard of Oz. And there are witches that cast spells, like in Harry Potter. So, and there are witches that lure children into their candy houses and to fatten them up and eat them. Ha ha ha. So let's take a few minutes and ask yourself, what kind of witch are you? And what does your witch want to say? What kind of gestures does your witch want to make? All right, so we're going to play about 2 minutes of music. And the first piece of music, all the music that I'll be using is from Miscellaneous Productions' previous shows. And the first piece that we're going to play is the main theme song from their show Monsters. And the writer-producer is Chin Injeti, and the writer and vocals is Natasha Feko. And so Katja is going to play 2 minutes of that. And in that time, just play with different gestures of what kind of witch, what kind of movements and gestures would your witch make? Okay, here we go. It's playtime.
You can run, but you can't hide. Smell the fear, I see it in your eyes. Had you fooled with my disguise. Lure you in and you'll be mine. Watch out, just wait. In the darkness, I will seal your fate. Yeah, I got you running, but I always will hunt you down. 'Cause I'm a monster, I'm a killer, I'm a hunter, baby, this here's a thriller. Lurking through the shadows, got you boarding up your windows. Trying to get my fix in the devil, yeah, he's my dealer. What's your weakness? Share your fears, love. This here's the part that I can never get tired of. Tripping off the fangs, the thrill of drawing the fresh blood. Got you lying awake, I'm something to be afraid of. You can run, but you can't hide. Smell the fear, I see it in your eyes. Had you fooled with my disguise. Lure you in and you'll be mine. Watch out.
That's great, everyone. That was fun. I was seeing some great witches out there. and some really fun play with the frame of the Zoom box too. And that's really great. Any thoughts or comments or questions, or anybody, does anybody want to share their particular gestures? Show the group. You can... Oh yeah, Chloe and Cody, yeah. Yes, there you go. There's a scary witch. Nice, nice. Okay, great, everybody. Let's move on to the next archetype. And the next archetype is going to be the rebel. So rebels are brave and they're fearless, they're adventurous, and they're very curious, and they're stubborn, and they're often outspoken. Okay, and they like to act quickly. They like to just jump into action. Rebels don't like to be ruled by others, and they believe that people should be free to choose their own paths. Okay, and so we think of who would be a rebel in a story. Let's think of Han Solo in Star Wars, right? He's like a rebel character. Or Indiana Jones, or Katniss in the Hunger Games. She's a real rebel character fighting for the good of the world. Their desire is to change the world, and that's their sort of impetus. And in fairy tales, we can even think of Jack in the Beanstalk. He's a kind of a rebel character in the sense that he totally ignores his mother's advice on, and he sells their only cow for 5 measly, supposedly magical beans. So he's a risk taker. And it turns out that risk was wise, because the magic beans grew this giant beanstalk, where he then climbed up and raided the giant's castle 3 times and stole the golden egg and the harp and the, what was the other one? The magic harp and the golden egg. And I think some gold, is like a bag of gold. Anyhow, so he's a bit of a rebel too. So let's think about what your rebel would do, what kind of gestures and actions your rebel would take. So again, we're going to take a couple minutes, and the next piece of music we are going to play is called I Ain't No Superman, from the Miscellaneous Productions show Away with Home. Music and lyrics by Natasha Feko. And we're going to play 2 minutes, and you can just play with your rebel character. Okay, here we go.
Feel it when the beat start bumping. Face sweat when the bass go dumb. So fly when you talk the talk, but you walk around looking ridiculous. No, you can't stop us, no matter how hard you knock us down. Pick it up, dustin' off the ground, cause we falling in line when we hear that sound. We going crazy, y'all Gen X call us lazy. Your bullshit doesn't faze me. I know I'm blazing. You light up the sky, then light up the world. Say you don't care if my future hurt, but yo, I'm just trying to save the world, man. I'm just trying to save the world. So now you're telling me I'm acting naive and saying nothing good ever comes for you. And then you're leaving all the cleanup to me. Say the cleanup to me. I ain't no Superman. If you want what I got, won't you take it from me? We got some work to be done in our society. Can't do it alone, can't do it for free. But together we got a responsibility. Go stupid, so numb, blowing up, showing off where I'm from. Get the bag, dirty money, ain't no fun. I ain't sticking around for your little hit and run. No, y'all ignorant, losing your head, indifferent. A lot of days, spending on your people while you're trying to make the bread. You've been sleeping, now it's time to make your bed. So now you're telling me I'm acting naive and saying nothing good ever comes for you. And then you're leaving all the cleanup to me. Say the cleanup to me. I ain't no Superman. If you want what I got, won't you take it from me? We got some work to be done in our society. Can't do it alone, can't do it for free. But together we got a responsibility.
Super, good work, everyone. Nice rebels out there. Yeah. Some strong, fast acting, crazy, rebellious, curious, outspoken rebels out there. That was great. Anyone have any thoughts or comments they want to make? All right, we'll keep going. That's great. So we're going to do one more archetype, and that is the archetype of monster. So monsters come in many forms. Some monsters are giants, big ogres. Some are trolls, smaller creatures. Some are dragons. There's werewolf, sea serpent, zombies, all kinds of monsters in all kinds of different forms. But whatever form they take, monsters represent human fear of the unknown, of the abnormal, of the unnatural, of the unexplained, and fear of the dark, you know, fear of like what we don't understand. And monsters can possess power and strength that can be quite terrifying. And monsters can also be gentle giants, right? We think of Shrek, this towering green ogre, but underneath he's quite a kind and gentle heart. So you could play either way. And it's fun actually to play against, you know, sort of the stereotypical image of something, to play against it. So we're going to take a couple of minutes again to play with our monster gestures. And I'll just let you know that the music, well, let me tell you what it is first. So it's the beginning song from the Miscellaneous Production show Monsters, and the composer performer is Chris Dirksen. And it's a creepy, eerie kind of music. It's just like atmospheric and creepy. But if you want to play against that, your monster might be quite kind, and your monster might be really gentle, but live in a very eerie world. So there's lots of way to play with that, okay? So yeah, let's take a couple of minutes and play with monster gestures and physicality. Take it away, Katja. That was fun. That was great. I was having some fun with you monsters out there. That was terrific. Okay, so that was great. Thank you. That was 3 archetypes we got to play with. And I know we've got to move on, but just before we go, our last thing that we do is just take all of that witch energy and that rebel energy and that monster energy, and we're gonna shake it all out. We're gonna shake it all out with this final song. This last song is called Refuge from Miscellaneous Productions, Away with Home, lyrics and music by Natasha Fecko, for just a minute and a half or something, and just shake it all out. Here we go, Katja. Thank you.
You took these words, put them in my head, and it left me lonely. Never enough, I can't hear them now, can't feed the hunger. And I've been so empty for a while now. This house ain't no home, and so I'm crying out. Tell me what we got, what are we thinking of? We're broken and full of doubt. Just for a moment, oh, it felt so right. I could taste the warmth in the sunlight. I think I figured it out now, and I'm fighting for my refuge. Lighting me up as I'm broken down. Still I'm searching, the night's getting brighter. Looking to you, 'cause all I know is a run, is a fighting the devil. There's something new, I think I figured it out now, and I'm fighting for my refuge,
Bravo, bravo, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for playing. That was great fun. Good to see everyone being witches and monsters and rebels. Thanks a lot, and I will pass it back to Leah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sharon. That was great. So we'll open it up again in case anybody has any questions for Sharon or for any of the artists that we have been working with today. So if you have any questions, feel free to type it into the chat. So far, nothing coming through, and that's fine. Okay, so if we don't have any questions, then that will conclude today's workshop of distance hats. So we do have a full digital season of arts programming. It's mostly geared towards youth and emerging artists, and all of the programs are free for anybody who wants to join. So starting this week, we'll be launching 2 excellent online projects for youth and emerging artists. It's Film for Beginners with Anne-Marie Fleming and Music 101 with Tanya Aganova, Robin Lane, and Jaya Story. Today's workshop of distance hats is part of the creation of Miscellaneous Productions 2022 to 23 theater work Plague, which is a new full-length production that will look at various fairy tales and folklore that have the subject of plague in them. Coming in the spring, we're also launching a new street dance video choreographed by Natasha Gori and produced in collaboration with Magnifier Media. It's entitled No Superman, with 9 representative dancers who collaborated with Natasha and director Elaine Carroll to explore mental health concerns for young people during the pandemic. And it's a new 3-minute dance video. Using Natasha Fico's rap music composition and performance of No Superman, originally commissioned from Miscellaneous Productions Away with Home, the new video is going to be released in April 2021 on our social media. So for more information about any of our programs, you can visit our Facebook page or the website at www.miscellaneousproductions.ca. Thank you again so much to all the people who attended this workshop, to the professionals, our lovely audience. Please enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy your distance hats that you created that are so beautiful. We'll do a big wave. Thank you everybody for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day today.